Um, Pastor RJ will go first.
Man, I wanted to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year!
Happy
There
New
it
Year.
is. Mine's louder, so you can put it on, Aaron. So this year was good. If you don't know, our youth ministry is called Anchor. You can spread it out bigger. So we keep track for the whole year of the sermons, what are our outings and everything. I know it's a bit small, but I'm just gonna sum it up. I do about 6 to maybe 10 weeks of a sermon series. In the beginning, we talked about holiness. We went along with what the church was talking about during our fasting, our prayer and fasting as well. The month of February and about March, we talked about love. And a lot of the students are like, yeah, he talked about love for a while, but on paper, it was only like 5 weeks, guys. It's not that bad. It's 7. And so from spring to summer, we talked about, because it was the end of our school year with the students, we were talking about how do we, like, engaging our school system, engaging our communities, impacting a hostile world. And we looked at movies, a movie where real problems are faced, and even now in today's time, it's even worse. But it was a great series. Next, let's go down a little more. This is where, in the summer, we took some breaks. Not really. We would meet with one another. I would do different sermons, different teachings on whatever the case was going on throughout the time. But in the summer, we had our youth camp. I'm going to get back to that later. I have a photo because our speaker's behind us as well. We're just going to run through this Excel sheet. Go further down. And so this is where, when we came back for the school year, we came back from youth camp, it was end of August. I didn't have this on paper. It was in my notebook that I left here, and I was with my parents, and I said, what did I do for the month of September, October? And I was kind of ashamed because it was the gospel, the entirety of the gospel and everything encompassing it. And my mom was making fun. He's like, you don't remember that you spoke on the gospel for like a month and a half? I was like, now you're just being mean. But going further down, our last series, which was about 10 weeks or so from here to the end of the year, was Fan or Follower, what it really looks to be a follower of Jesus Christ. And this whole year has been great with a lot of the parents, a lot of you are children, growing with them. We can just go straight to the pictures after this. But it's been good. I've seen their growth exponentially from the time where I've been here this September 2015, and we've built a lot of foundations and seeing them, and you can blow that right up, Aaron. And I just want to report a few numbers. On a regular week to week, it's about 10 to 12. Sometimes okay days 15, but if on a really, really good day, week to week, it's almost 20. And I just want to thank you parents for driving your students. So this is us December last year. A lot of our guests, a lot of our college kids, our seniors who graduated in college, first year college, they were able to join us. You can go next. We're going to go through these fast. Sometimes we're here in the fellowship hall because it's kind of cold downstairs, and the heat runs here in the church, and it's pretty good. This is around, I think, February or so when we're studying the Jesus and loving others. You can go next. Here downstairs, we hosted in January a kind of like a live worship session with multiple churches. I told Pastor Sam this, I hope we don't get in trouble, but downstairs we were at 150 people. You can see we're spread to the corners, and in the middle there's someone playing guitar and reading passages, and it was good. So I thank you for letting us host that. Let's look for more opportunities next. We're going to go. This is our family fun night, which a lot of you got to be part of. The theme was Welcome to the 80s. See all the bright colors? I will never wear that on a regular given day. So that's the only time you'll be seeing, but it was great. The youth really put a lot of work into this. We were planning, after youth, we would be talking, hey, can I buy this? Can I buy this? And my credit ran high, but it came out good. But it was good. A lot of opportunities. We were able to invite some of your family members who wouldn't come to church unless it was kind of this kind of outreach or this kind of event. Next. This is just some of our game nights. Sometimes it's very easy to get burned out on just preaching after preaching after preaching. So sometimes we do our game nights. Rachel's there in her pajamas. Next. This is just our regular meeting on a Youth Friday. It's, like I said, ranges about 10 to 20 kids. Sometimes, once again, I just really want to thank some of the parents, like Tito Reggie, Tito Edwin, sometimes driving all throughout Congress and New City to pick up like 8 kids. That's half of the youth. So thank you. Next. That's our boy, Ethan Tai, who, when he graduated, he enlisted in the Air Force, and there he is then, and there he is in a black and white photo of seeing all his friends again. He's sitting right there. He's one of my very close friends. Next. This is in December. This is just this past December. December 2, I believe, we went on a youth outing, ice skating there in Palisades Mall. We were able to invite some friends as well once again. They all can skate, so don't ever challenge them. Hey, I'll race you this, or I bet you can't skate, because they all got so well. That's just a tired photo of us and our swollen legs and whatnot. Next. This is our youth camp. On the bottom right, that is Pastor AJ, our speaker, being prayed for. In our association, Global Baptist Alliance, there's about 8 churches who showed up, including leaders, 210 or so. ICF, we were able to send about 20 kids and 5 leaders. So that's the most we've ever sent, 25 altogether. So that's a real blessing, and we're growing and growing so much more than that. So next. Is that it? Oh, okay. Just one of our games. This is at Pastor Sam's house, actually. Just one of our games. And once again, we don't always just meet in Grace House or just one venue or setting. If you want to gladly let us use your house or you just welcome us, we'll be glad to. And we'll just talk to me and we'll work things out, because we like a change of pace. We like a different setting where we can gather. It might be even closer for if we're trying to invite some friends or classmates who live, in the same town. Next. That's this. We're going to a youth rally in November, and I drove about 7 kids. And I understand you parents, where you say, I will turn this car around if you don't stop talking, because the music's just blasting and I'm trying to drive to Queens. And I, as a 23-year-old guy, I feel like I'm 35 and up because of the stress level. Next. Oh, that's just so sometimes I like to, in our youth, we like to be very interactive. They use the board. Rachel's clearly posing with a Sugar Rush on her lollipop or whatever. Next. This was our ICF Christmas party. The youth got involved with a lot of games, a lot of setup. We did the photo booth. Next. I really don't want. This is just us playing outside. Sometimes in the summer, I see a lot of times in the summer, we love to play outside before youth. Sometimes we don't do an organized game, but we play outside until sundown, maybe 8, and then we go inside, do a lesson. We play a lot of Foursquare. I know that. Next. I think we're almost done. One more. This is our guest speaker, Ralph Manlapig. He's Pastor AJ's cousin. He's a best friend of mine in the home church where I grew up, where my parents go. And he closed out, like I said, the series Fan or Follower, what it really looks like to be a true follower of Jesus Christ, and not just a fan where we idolize or where we just see just someone in the back of our minds, but him being every day. And I asked him to close out because maybe sometimes I believe they get tired of hearing this voice, and hearing from someone else, I believe that it has a different kind of impact. And so I asked him to speak because I heard him preach one time on dying to ourselves and what that looks like. And that's never you're never too young to hear that. And I know it's a harsh thing to say, dying to ourselves, but really sacrificing so much to live for Christ. And I think that's it. You can hit next, and I think that's it. Yeah, all right. So that's our youth man. Thank you for supporting us and our youth anchor ministry.
We're going to have to bear with my voice a little bit. I might have to make it a little short, but if you've heard me preach, I'm not really good at keeping it short. This year started off interesting for me. Rather than this being more of a business presentation, this will be a lot of personal stuff that I went through ministerially. If we could kind of backtrack, this year started with Pastor Sam coming back from sabbatical, and which means for me, I got to take a break. I mean, not an official break, but right before Pastor Sam came back, I was given the hardest but most blessed opportunity I've ever had as a pastor, where when Pastor Sam went on sabbatical, I was acting as interim lead for a while, very much supported by our elders and our leaders, but it was the first time in my life where I preached at least 3 Sundays every month, and if I got to be honest, it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. When I was a pastor before in another church, even though I taught every Friday night with students, I was only given a chance to preach once every 3 months. And because they're so drastically different, it was hard for me to get better at writing sermons and delivering them. So I really feel like God used ICF and Pastor Sam in particular to let me grow in what God has called me to do in delivering the word. And I feel like every Sunday when I'm given a chance to preach, I'm also able to interact with you guys, just letting me know what you guys think. And I just want to let you know that this continues to shape who I am as a pastor constructively. Pastor Sam always helps me out every time I preach. We sit down the following staff meeting and he lets me know what things I could work on, whether it's delivery, presentation, research, or even just how I stand and look at everybody. But I feel like even now that he's back, he and ICF, you guys give me a chance to speak at least once a month, and for this I'm very grateful. With Pastor Sam coming back from sabbatical, another thing that happened was we realized that 2016 was very much a rebuilding year and a year of firsts, a year of kind of staking new ground and seeing where we're going to go. It's the first year where we had 3 pastors on staff. And because of that, I really was able to take some time to figure out what it is that I'm called to do here. Now that we have Pastor RJ serving as a youth pastor, over the course of the year it became evident that God really put it in my heart to be the associate pastor here, particularly with a focus on streamlining what we do ministerially on a Sunday, but also looking to equip and create more opportunities for outreach and evangelism. And God has been bringing in people to really help with this effort. We want to be a missional church, so some people are new and really just jumping in. Other people have been here for a while, have been stepping up, and it's been a beautiful thing. Even starting like before the summer, during the summer, we were able to go to Rockland Lake once a month. And one of the most common things that people would tell us was that they were surprised that a group of strangers was willing to hand out free water, to hand out some food. It's almost like everybody wanted to know what the catch was. And so we got to do that. We got to tell them what we're about. Another big thing that we did this year was we got to do a reverse trick-or-treat on October 31st. Like we said, Halloween is not something that we really celebrate as Christians, but at the same time, it's very rich in opportunity because it's a day where non-Christians expect their doorbells to be rang and expect to open up their doors to strangers. But we pull a quick surprise on them where when they give our kids candy, we turn something back and give them a gift. So we went around, we gave Bibles, we gave Dunkin' Donuts gift cards, and we gave ICF TrueLife.org cards. And again, people were kind of floored, and in some ways they thought we were weird, but when it comes to doing what we're called to do, yeah, I'll be weird. I'll go against the grain. So we'll do that. Another cool thing that I got to see, I wasn't really part of, but I was there, was we went to the nursing home. We had a group of people singing, and I was there with my kids, and we were able to just spend some time with people. In fact, I'm going to argue that this year when we go do outreach events, rather than just present something, we're going to create space for us to spend time with people, because the people at the nursing home, they were really itching for some of us to stay and spend some time with them. So a lot of them were trying to meet my daughters. So I think that we should spend some more time relationally getting to know people. And then we also did a big one that we did recently was we did a flash mob in Palisades Mall. So what we did is this was headed up by people who did music, but very much Brother David Bray really helped spearhead the boldness for some people to go. And for some people, this may have been like a first time trying to do outreach in public with strangers. And it was very much like just kind of getting your feet wet, but it shows us what's possible if you're just willing to go out. So we sang songs both on the first floor and on the fourth floor. And I got to share, even just on a personal testimony, right after we were done singing, I got to hang out with somebody there. His name's Winston. And we spent 20 minutes talking about what he's going through. He was telling me why he had to go to the mall just to get his mind off of some things. And then we prayed together. We talked through the gospel. We prayed together. And again, at the end of it, he was like, man, something is almost wrong here. He was like, who just goes up to people and basically loves people like this?